901-9966.
Comcast Cablevision is coming at you from Essex County College in Newark. It's the semifinals of the 50th annual Essex County Boys Basketball Tournament, and we pit the 4th seed, the Seton Hall Prep Pirates, and the 4-time defending ECT champions, the 8th seed, the Irvington Blue Knights. Hello everybody, I'm James Wilkes. So glad you could join us. Second semifinal here at Essex County College. The atmosphere is electric for Irvington. This has been their domain. They've won 18 consecutive ECT titles, 18 consecutive wins, 4 ECT titles, tied with the East Orange Panthers, coached by Bob Lester from years 74 through 78. This year they've been plagued with inconsistency, foul troubles, lack of depth, but every time they step onto this court, Ted Fiore, they always seem to be on their mark. This is their domain. This is their house.
Well, for sure. They've owned this tournament over the last 4 years, and when you think of the balance in the county of Essex, and to think that they 4 consecutive times have won it, it speaks volumes for their program. And talking to Coach Blasi before the game, this seems to bring out the best in the Irvington Ball Club, and we're looking forward to a terrific effort from them tonight.
Well, certainly for the Seton Hall Prep Pirates, in 20 games, 18 times, they've had their best brought out. They come in here as the 4th seed, and today we have a matchup where we have difference in style. Seton Hall Prep, a very precise man-to-man half-court team, whereas Irvington wants to play a 94-foot game.
Well, that's certainly the true thing about tonight's game. You have Irvington, who wants to get after you, want to up-tempo the game. They run at you with a lot of people. And Seton Hall, who's a very methodical half-court team, not as deep as Irvington. So I think the bench could be an important part of this game today.
Well, one benchmark for the Irvington Blue Knights is Kareem Peoples. Kareem Peoples, a 6'1 senior, comes into this contest, Ted, averaging 19 points per game, 8.5 rebounds. He's a very versatile player for Coach Blasi.
Well, he's their big guy. There's no question about it. And Coach has told me that he's been injured a few times, and each time that he's been injured and hasn't played, they've had real difficulties. He's trying to get back to play tonight. He's had an ankle problem. I have to believe that in a game like this, he'll show up and he'll be ready to play.
Well, one person who's been consistently showing up for the Seton Hall Prep Pirates, a junior guard, Brian Peterson, a 5'10 junior from Clark, New Jersey. He's the engine that gets the Seton Hall Prep offense going, doesn't he?
Well, you need a quarterback out there, and Ryan is just that. He distributes the ball. He's a real tough kid, good with the ball, and he's going to have to be on his game today against the Irvington pressure.
Yeah, Irvington, of course, comes at you in waves. Their depth is one of their strengths for Coach Blasi. They can come at you with 10 players, whereas for Seton Hall Prep, Coach Farrell's basically going with a 7-man rotation.
Well, I think there's no question. Irvington's going to look to wear Seton Hall down. They're going to try to pressure the guards end line to end line for 32 minutes and see if that can be a real factor in the game.
Well, certainly there's been a mystique here at Essex County College. We've set the stage. It's the second semifinal boys basketball Essex County tournament. Irvington and Seton Hall coming at you from Newark.
It was damp outside, and I was leaving home with my granddaughter. I was stopped by a state trooper. He gave me a ticket because I was not wearing my seatbelt. Approximately 4 days later, I was involved in it's very bad traffic accident. However, I was able to walk away from that accident because I was wearing my seatbelt.
Buckle up. Seatbelts save lives.
Oh, we welcome you back to Essex County College. We're just underway. Seton Hall in the home white and Irvington in the road blue, the 8th seed in this Essex County basketball tournament.
Well, Seton Hall opening in their man-for-man defense, trying to keep the ball, keep it in a half-court game.
Kelly has it for Irvington. Back out to Jermel Mayo, a 5'11 junior guard. Mayo penetrates, loses control, last touch, Seton Hall ball.
Well, here comes Irvington with their pressure. They're going to try to pressure them end line to end line, see if they can
Here's
create
a look
the
at
tempo they want.
Irvington's starting lineup. You have Keith Barnett, a senior to watch at 6'3", Kelly, Porter, Mayo, and Kareem Peoples, the fellow that we talked about in our open. Watch out for Peoples and Barnett. Miller lets it fly for Seton Hall, rim short.
Here comes Irvington on the fly. You saw Seton Hall run a nice half-court set.
Barnett's shot is short. Peterson, beautiful look to Drea. Shot is blocked.
Well, that's what Peterson does so well. He sees the court. He made a terrific pass up ahead. Irvington recovered back and got a piece of the shot. Feeling out process here.
Barnett guarded by Miller.
Seton Hall just content to play man-to-man defense, try to keep the ball in front of them.
Barnett running one-hander in the lane and it drops.
Well, with Peoples out of the game, Barnett looks to step up his game even more.
Peterson in the open court kicks it to Mike Keskowski, who buries the baseline jumper.
Well, that's going to be a key element in this game. Is Peterson able to beat the pressure, and if he does, find the open guy, which he does so well. Excellent heads-up play.
Ted Fiore, of course, Seton Hall being such an unselfish basketball team that lends itself to quality shots and quality possessions.
Well, that's what they pride themselves in.
Mayo trying to go past Ricciardi, succeeds with a left-handed layup.
Now you see Irvington looking to beat Seton Hall in one-on-one situations, get into the lane.
Peterson loses control in traffic, and Keith Barnett steps in to take the charge.
Take the charge. Terrific defensive play, and I think that might be an element that Irvington's going to look for.
Here's a good look at the Seton Hall prep starting lineup. Mike Keskowski, a 6-foot senior. Jeff Miller, Frank Drea, Steve Ricciardi, and Ryan Peterson, and they're coached by Robert Farrell, the deacon of Essex County, coaches in its 19th season.
And here comes Peoples into the game. The question that Seton Hall had about Peoples is that he's a very strong kid, as you can see, and he's also very quick, which could create some matchup problems for them.
Peoples guarded by Mike Keskowski.
They're running a little bit of a version of the flex.
Peoples head fakes. Good look for Barnett. His shot is short, and it's corralled by Drea for Seton Hall.
Well, that's what Seton Hall needs to do, is 1 and out. Give him one shot and not give him 2 and 3. Seton Hall picking, screening, moving, trying to combat the pressure of Irvington.
Ricciardi,
nice
beautiful
nice
feed to Mike Keskowski, who draws the foul. Foul will be on Hakeem Kelly. That's his first personal foul.
You know, we talk a lot about Ryan Peterson, but the Ricciardi kid is an excellent player. He's a very, very good shooter, complements his teammate in the backcourt, and as you saw right there, made a great pass. And I think this is one of the key things about Seton Hall, is they look for one another and they play together.
Miller lets it fly from downtown. First 3 points for Jeff Miller. 5-4 is our score. The prep on top by 1.
Seton Hall ran a nice little out-of-bounds play there, and he inbounded it, screened for Miller, and he made the 3.
Peoples drawing contact, but he travels.
Guy Borges with the call.
4 minutes, 23 seconds to go. We're just underway here at Essex County College. James Wilkes, my tag team partner Ted Fiore on hand at courtside.
notice that Seton Hall does a lot of screening and passing.
Again, penetration from Peterson. Drea, the beneficiary. First 2 points for Frank Drea. Mayo comes back for Irvington.
Good ball fake, got his man up in the air.
4 points, Jermel Mayo.
Irvington looking to break it down a little bit more one-on-one. Seton Hall passing, screening, setting up the next guy.
Miller in deep, double clutches and somehow gets it off in traffic.
Big shot. On a good inside feed from Ryan Peterson.
5 points, Jeff Miller. Back the other way comes Hakeem Kelly from downtown.
We're tied at 9.
Both teams very efficient on each possession. Ricciardi tries to go off the glass, followed by Drea in traffic.
And that was a concern of Bobby Farrell before the game. Were they going to be able to compete with Irvington on the glass? And they've done an excellent job so far on both ends.
4 points, Frank Drea, the 6'3" junior, in his first year starting for Coach Farrell. Has really come a long way.
The tempo of this game has certainly favored Seton Hall. It's been a half-court type of game.
No-look pass from Peoples to Barnett. Last glance off Jeff Miller. Substitution into the game. Seeing his first action, number 32, Tom Shannon. Out goes Keith Barnett. Shannon, a 6-foot sophomore.
I think if you see the game played in a half-court as it is, that definitely favors Seton Hall.
Seton Hall coming off an impressive 73-39 win over Columbia. Rebound corralled by Ricciardi.
There's the pressure. Good job of handling it. A big factor in this game is going to be the fourth quarter, too. You know, are they going to be able to wear the Seton Hall team down with their constant pressure?
Miller's short on his jumper. Back come the Blue Knights. Hakeem Kelly in transition. Shot is goaltended by Frank Drea.
Good call by the official. And there it was. There's Seton Hall. Great drive, great penetration, coast to coast, and definitely a goaltend by Drea. But that's Irvington's tempo. That's their pace. That's what they want to do, is be running the ball. Great little baseline screen in there for Seton Hall.
Keskowski.
Possession arrow, Seton Hall.
And Porter with a tie-up. Possession arrow favors the Prep. They will retain possession.
And he'll probably run a little set play here on the out of bounds. Irvington substituting, which you'll
Mario
probably
Porter
see a lot
comes
of.
out.
Great cut right through the zone, 2-3 zone. They just slid a guy into the open area. Should have stopped and finished.
Mayo lets it fly, left hand, off the front rim. Back come the Pirates.
On that last possession, Drea did a great job of blocking out inside, keeping Keith Barnett off the offensive glass.
Something that Bob Farrell's been very concerned about, his ability to block out against bigger players. Last touch by Mayo. Seton Hall retains possession.
These are two good clubs, two balanced clubs. Passing the ball, one of the keys of Seton Hall.
Peterson on one of his rare jump shot attempts, drills it from 18.
Now there's a kid that everybody talks about his ball handling and his assist and his playmaking, but he can shoot the ball when he gets that open shot. He doesn't hesitate, and he's got a very good percentage on it.
Back the other way in traffic goes Keith Barnett. 4 points, Keith Barnett. 14-13, the Prep clinging to a 1-point lead. 10 seconds to go in the quarter.
Is Irvington getting after him, gambling a little bit, trying to create a faster pace.
Seton Hall, of course, a very difficult team to pressure because they move without the ball and they have good ball handlers.
Absolutely. Irvington 2-3 on the out of bounds.
Miller with seconds to go, shot no good. Drea's tap does not count. That'll do it. 1 quarter in the books. Seton Hall Prep jumps out on front, 14-13. We'll come back with more from Essex County College in Newark.
Gotta try to get some of these names.
Joey, leave your sister alone and finish your breakfast.
Oh, Mom.
I said finish your breakfast now.
Uh-oh.
Will you watch what you're doing? Oh, look at this mess.
I didn't do it on purpose.
Don't touch it. Oh, now I'm really late. Will you listen to me?
Mommy!
Before you hurt the ones you love, stop. Call 1-800. The kids.
Hello, may I help you?
And we welcome you back to Essex County College in Newark. Just about ready to get started with the second quarter. And Ted Fiore, my tag team partner, I myself, James Wilkes. A quick moving first quarter, Coach, and both teams very efficient on the offensive end of the floor.
Well, if you look, you look up at the board, you see that there are very few fouls in the game, and not much stoppage. But the pace of the game has certainly been what Seton Hall wants. They want it to be a half-court game. Irvington's going to try to have to force the action and the pace a little bit more. But right now, it's just where Seton Hall wants it, a half-court game.
This style of play just fine to Coach Farrell and company if they can keep it that way. Peoples has it working against Drea.
Peoples is considered a great scorer, and yet he's made a couple of moves where he wasn't at all afraid to dish the ball off.
Mayo beats Ricciardi the baseline. Weak side help a little bit late, and the foul.
Jermel pretty good with the ball. As you see, they do a little isolation, and they try to beat you off the dribble one-on-one more than Seton Hall does.
Foul goes to Frank Drea. Mike Keskowski steps out for the prep into the game. John Hoeing, a 6-foot senior.
Seton Hall is probably going to play 6 or 7 guys in this game, while Irvington, their intention was to play more like 10 and just keep after it.
Make that 6 points for Jermel Mayo, the sleek left-handed guard for the Irvington Blue Knights.
I believe that's Irvington's first lead.
15-14, the Blue Knights, as Ted just mentioned, on top. Good catch by Drea in traffic. But he's stripped by Kareem Peoples. Back the other way comes the Blue Knights. Great look, Jermel Mayo who finishes in transition.
Well, there's the steal and the conversion, and that's a terrific play by Peoples. He stole it, took it coast to coast, and made a great finishing pass.
Seton Hall Prep shot 50% in the first quarter, 5 of 10, while Irvington was 4 of 10. Miller coming off the screen, buries the jumper from the elbow.
And they're going to need Jeff to make that shot.
Great look from Peoples to Shannon, but he walks.
Well, Peoples hasn't been on the board, but he's sure making his teammates better. He's made a couple of excellent passes. That time the receiver walked with it, but still a good penetration pass.
Number 31, Derek Washington, into the game for the first time for the Blue Knights. A 6'2 junior.
Seton Hall screen across, screen down, running a little version of the flex offense. Looking for that elbow jumper right there. There it is.
Miller gets it, can't drain it though.
That's just what they're looking for, but you got to finish. Here comes Irvington on the fly.
Hakeem Kelly working on Peterson. Peoples from downtown off the back rim. Followed nicely, but Ricciardi comes away with it for the prep.
Peoples looks comfortable out there. He looked like he was comfortable on the shot. comes. Screen across, screen down.
Peterson.
Irvington doing a yeoman's job here defending him. They're working hard on defense. Seton Hall just keeps passing until they get the good one.
Miller in deep. Scores points number 8 and 9 for the 6'2 sophomore. Coming into this contest averaging 21 points in 2 ECT games. Back the other way.
Well, that was a perfect example of contrast. Seton Hall threw about 10 passes and got the shot. Irvington on a fast break. Seton Hall comes back with one of their own.
Andrea, the beneficiary of yet another gorgeous pass from Ryan Peterson.
Peterson had 3 assists at the quarter. So he's right on target.
Hakeem Kelly, yes, it goes. 7 points, Hakeem Kelly. We have a track meet underway here at Essex County College. 5 assists for Ryan Peterson, according to our crack statistician, Steve Tomer. Gorgeous feed. Oh, but Drea can't finish.
That's too bad.
Gorgeous basketball on the offensive end of the floor for the Pirates. Peoples in deep, clutches in the air. Peoples is guilty of the loose ball foul.
Well, Bobby Farrell reaching into his bench a little bit. Great spin move, spin move. Seton Hall's there to defend it. You'll notice that Seton Hall stepped in and was there to defend it and affected that shot, even though it was a terrific move.
Coach Fiore, both teams lighten it up from the floor. Seton Hall 8 of 15, while Irvington is 6 out of 14.
Well, it's interesting because both getting very good shots, just the shots they want to get.
Keskowski gets an open look, but he can't drain it.
I don't know if that was one. Here comes Irvington on the fly.
Peoples loses his footing. Tie up. We have a personal foul in the tie up on John Hoeing, it looks like.
Well, the ball is loose on the floor. Official felt that he got into the man instead of the ball. So Irvington underneath. Seton Hall man for man out of bounds.
4:04 to go in the second quarter. A lightning quick game so far. Porter loses it off the penetration from Peoples. The big fella didn't quite have his hands out.
You know, Peoples is doing a good job here because Seton Hall is really paying attention to him. When he penetrates, they've got 2 guys at least doubling him, making sure he's going to give it up. And he is making the pass, but the receivers aren't finishing on it. They've missed a few, walked on a couple.
Number 31, Roman Lemega checks in, a 6'5 junior. Good feed in deep, and Mike Keskowski finishes on a gorgeous feed from Jeff Miller.
Constant movement by Seton Hall, constant screening. They're running bodies at you, and you have to get through screens, and then they just do a great job here. Excellent inside feed, excellent inside feed. They're playing together, looking for one another. This game is back and forth.
And Keskowski completes the 3-point play. 5 points, Mike Keskowski.
Neither team budging here. Now
Let Peoples back the other way.
Terrific pull-up. Started, little hesitation, dribble. Pulled up, made the shot.
That jumper in the lane is not at the score at 23.
Well, the pressure of Irvington has not affected Seton Hall. Great inside look again by Peterson.
Keskowski, beautiful movement without the ball, gets points 6 and 7, 1 above his seasonal average of 6. He is at his Essex County tournament average of 7-10. People shot short. Back the other way comes Peterson.
Running at him.
Ricciardi's 3, nothing but air. Peoples. In deep for Keith Barnett. Barnett working hard. Shot is rejected by Lemega. Roman Lemega.
He has affected the last 2 shots. That one he blocked and the last one he altered.
Mike Keskowski a little out of control, and he is guilty for an offensive foul.
Well, Keith Barnett came over, saw the penetration, and took the charge. They're on the glass. They're on the glass, and you're going to see a terrific deflection of the ball here by Roman.
Timed it beautifully,
Yep,
Coach.
good defensive play, all ball. The series before that, he affected a shot, too.
Seton Hall with a 2-point lead. Hakeem Kelly drives baseline. Gets it to Barnett. Keskowski clears for the prep.
Seton Hall not afraid to run on opportunity, but the last two possessions, they took a three that maybe they shouldn't have taken, and this time, you know, they weren't set. They can't be turning the ball over like that.
Drea back in for Lamega.
Because every time in the half court, they've gotten a good shot.
Mayo has it, kicks it to Hakeem Kelly, 3-ball, no good.
Irvington doing a good job of dribble penetration and kicking and getting guys open, but they can't make the shot. And Seton Hall's done a great job of keeping them off the glass. It's 1 and out.
Peterson, 3-ball, good! Ryan Peterson starting to feel it.
Well, that's a second three along with about 6 or 7 assists. He's a tough little kid.
That 3-point shot gives the Prep a 28-23 lead.
Biggest lead of the game, I believe, for anybody.
1:20 to go in the first half in a rapidly moving game here in Newark.
Here they come, a little.
Ricciardi lets it fly, in and out. Rebound taken away by Barnett. Peoples from downtown. Peterson, great feed to Steve Ricciardi. But Frank Drea's there to follow with a big paw in his right hand.
Seton Hall making a little run here just before the half. And they're running out Irvington. They're running whenever they get the opportunity. Looks like Irvington's going to hold for the last shot.
3 offensive rebounds for Frank Drea, the 6'3" junior. Averaging 7.6 bounds a game.
Seton Hall's done an excellent job of rebounding in this half. Excellent job of rebounding. Very fundamentally sound.
3 seconds, 2. Peoples lets it fly. Shot no good, and that is the end of the first half.
Well, it's a well-played first half.
Seton Hall halfway home to a final appearance in the Essex County Tournament. They lead the Irvington Blue Knights 30-23. We'll come back with more from Essex County College in Newark. Stay tuned for a halftime guest in Jeff Goldberg. Replay second half. Frank Drea moving without the ball and being there to clean up off a Steve Ricciardi miss. Get that big paw in there, big fella. And that has helped Seton Hall get a 30-23 lead. We're at halftime here at Essex County College, and I'm joined by my halftime guest, the Seton Hall Prep Sports Information Director, ECT historian, whatever you want to tab him as, Jeff Goldberg. And Jeff, a very fast-moving first half for both teams. Irvington did not quite create the pace that they wanted.
No, they didn't, James. And Seton Hall, with their great passing, has set up a lot of baskets like they did last week against Orange.
Well, Jeff, you and I have talked repeatedly about how Coach Farrell, in his 19th season at the helm of the Seton Hall Prep program, really gets maximum mileage out of his talent. How would you compare this year's Seton Hall Prep teams to teams of past? For instance, the TFC champions finalists, I should say, in 1991.
Well, that team was definitely more talented, with the likes of Ira Bowman, who went on to Providence and then Penn, and guys like Walter Morton that went on to Trenton State, and Brevin Knight played on that team. And they were a little more talented, but the bottom line is that a Bobby Farrell coach team will always make the right pass. Very few mistakes, very few errors, very few throwing the ball away.
Well, Jeff, it seems to me as the sports information director at Seton Hall Prep, not only do you cover the basketball, you cover the baseball and the football. What enjoyment do you get out of providing such accurate information? It's as if you're a college sports information director.
Well, I went to the Prep. I graduated in '77, and I enjoy sports, all sports, not just basketball, not just baseball or hockey or wrestling. I enjoy all sports, and I like doing it. I've met a lot of people like yourself in the media who I know, guys like Mike Kinney. I deal with a guy over at Madison Square Garden Network, Mike Quick, who does a high school report, and I really like doing that. I like providing the information. It's a lot of fun. I've met a lot of people through the years doing it.
Jeff, what do you enjoy so much about the high school sports scene? I mean, just watching Seton Hall Prep play basketball, it's just a clinic. I mean, it's you have to be a certain type of player to fit into Coach Farrell's system, it seems like.
Oh, without a doubt. You have to. It's either his way, you have to do his philosophy, and his philosophy has been very successful over the years. I enjoy the enthusiasm of high school sports. Again, if Seton Hall was not here, I would still be down here. And I just enjoy, the enthusiasm of high school sports, Greater Newark tournament. If Seton Hall Prep's not in the semis or the finals, I'm going to be there because I enjoy it. The Gordon Cup, it's at South Mountain Arena in West Orange. I live in West Orange now. If Seton Hall Prep's not in it, I'm still going to be there because I enjoy it.
Jeff, one final question. One thing that Ted Fiore and I had commented on during the course of our telecast was the way that Seton Hall was limiting Irvington to one shot. What do they have to do in the second half to maintain this 7-point bulge and build on it?
Well, I would say, again, it's the crisp passing, the good shot at the basket, and the good boxing out on defense. That's what I would say.
Well, thanks very much for joining us, Jeff Goldberg, the Sports Information Director at Seton Hall Prep. We'll come back with more from Essex County College in Newark. It's halftime. Seton Hall Prep 30 and Irvington 23.
As this little boy grows up, he might take Latin. He might take chemistry. He might even take time to learn guitar. Then again, he might take drugs. He might take your wallet, or he might take someone's life. The path he takes depends on what we teach. Morals, don't take them for granted. This has been a public service message brought to you by the Way to Happiness Foundation. For a free information kit on teaching common sense morals, call 1-800-901-9966. That's 1-800-901-9966.
And welcome back to Essex County College in Newark. It's halftime. We're just about ready to get underway with the third quarter. And joining me, my tag team partner, Ted Fiore. And Coach, hot shooting on both sides. Seton Hall, 8 of 15. Irvington, 7 of 16. Crisp ball movement. Seton Hall, of course, getting a lot of great looks at the basket, aren't they?
Well, absolutely. And this is the way they play. Bobby instructs his kids to get the good shot. They've gotten some in transition, but they do a great job in their half-court offense of breaking you down, screening you, and getting the shots that they want to get. Irvington, on the other hand, has done a good job of dribble penetrating and getting into the lane and getting good shots themselves. So it's an interesting contrast in half-court styles, but both are efficient. And Seton Hall had a great little run at the end of the half to open up a 7-point lead. So, but this is Irvington's tournament, so there's a lot of basketball left.
4 consecutive ECT titles for the Irvington Blue Knights, matched only by the East Orange Panthers from the years 74 to 78. Good feed inside, left-handed layup for Mike Keskowski.
Well, they've run a clinic on getting that guy open along the baseline with that little baseline screen out of the flex offense, and they do a great job of looking in. Keskowski's had a good game. He's got 9 points. Good balanced effort by Seton Hall.
Seton Hall, its largest lead at 9, 32-23. Mayo loses the ball, but is hacked on the way by Steve Ricciardi.
Well, you see, that's not a good foul because the guy's driving. He's a little out of control. Keep your hands, keep your hands away from the ball, and maybe you can pick up something. Out of bounds, man for man. Set play.
Irvington 12-7 coming into this contest. Mayo in traffic, but a body block foul called on Frank Drea.
Good call. He's making dribble penetration, and Drea tried to take a charge, but it wasn't there. Good call by the official. There it is. Got there a little late. But at least the attempt is there. Seton Hall sees the penetration coming, and they're trying to close it off, and just so happened a little late that time. Nice stroke.
Mayo's first free throw.
Let's watch his hand. If he keeps his hand up there on the free throw. That's what a good free throw shooter does, and he did the same thing right there.
10 points for Jermel Mayo. Very well-rounded player for head coach Larry Blasi. Keskowski lets it fly off the back rim.
Well, that's a quick one. It's one of the few times Seton Hall came down and threw one pass and shot it.
Coach, that's one of the few times where Coach Farrell worries about his team is when they get the quick shots and turnovers like that.
I'll tell you, they've done a terrific job of handling Irvington's pressure.
Peoples' pull-up is in and out, but Barnett, being the garbage man, can't convert.
They got the second one that time, and Barnett left it a little short. You know, it's one of the things you look for in kids is pursuit of the ball, and Barnett was pursuing it there, and he just committed a rebounding foul, but it's a great effort.
First foul.
There's a good shot. Coming off the baseline. Still screen down.
And Drea promptly sends it home. His 9th and 10th points of the contest.
Each time they've thrown 3 or 4 or 5 passes, they've come away with a good shot. How to remain patient. There's good ball distribution. Just can't get it down.
Porter's follow. That's no good, but Keith Barnett tips it home.
Well, that's what Bobby was worried about. And Larry Blasi, he had his team had to be after it on the offensive boards, and they've gotten a little bit more active lately.
Seton Hall with a 34-27 lead. The 4th seed. Ricciardi lets it fly, and it goes. First basket of the ball game for Steve Ricciardi, the 5'10 junior.
He's a streaky kid. He gets on track.
Hakeem Kelly going baseline. Jump hook by Barnett. That's no good, but Barnett tips it in.
Barnett again on the glass.
Keith Barnett, 4 offensive rebounds.
Bobby Farrell up imploring his team to block out. Larry Blasi imploring his team to go to the glass.
Moving screen called on Mike Keskowski. Second personal. Got to stay stationary.
Yeah, well, they do a lot of screening, and, if you play the course of a game, you're going to get some of those calls. But you never like to see it, but it's going to happen.
Coach Blasi and co. will take a timeout. Coach Fiore, it seems like Irvington is almost content to trade the baskets with the prep.
Yeah, they're not. They're obviously not getting the game the way they want to get it. There's a great little drive along the baseline. He pulls up, misses it. Watch Garnett on the offensive boards. And that's a big factor in this game. And Bobby Farrell, after that, was up imploring his kids to do a better job of blocking out. Because Garnett's got very, very active on the offensive boards in the last 3 or 4 series.
And don't forget to watch the Essex County Tournament Finals, boys and girls style, Sunday the 25th. You can catch that on Comcast Cablevision TV3 at 6:30 and 8:30, and for a repeat broadcast Thursday night the 29th at 7:30 and 9:30, only on Comcast Cablevision TV3, your home for exciting high school sports.
You know, James, we were discussing before that the pace of this game has definitely been what Seton Hall has wanted. The press of Irvington has not affected Seton Hall at all, and so resultingly we got a 7-point Seton Hall lead.
Irvington 9 for 20 for the game from the floor, 2 for 6 from the field this quarter.
Coach Blasi yelling at his kids to move, screen and move. There you go.
Mayo gets an open look.
Can't get him down. But they moved the ball through several passes and wound up with a good shot.
Peterson will redirect for the Pirates. Chardy thought about it.
There's that elbow jumper. That is a big shot in the Seton Hall offense, and they must practice that thing 150 times a day each, because they make it.
Mike Keskowski leading all scorers with 11 points. 5 above his seasonal average.
Well, Garnett's coming alive. They haven't gotten much out of offensively out of Kareem Peoples. He's obviously been affected by his ankle.
Garnett with 10 points for the Blue Knights, leading Irvington in scoring.
Well, there they go. That's what they're looking to do. Get some steals, get in transition.
And Mayo finishes off the lead pass. 12 points, Jermel Mayo. And Irvington getting back ever so closely into the game. 38-33 our score.
This kid Peterson is a terrific little point guard. Directing the team.
Drea posting up in the blocks, and it rattles in. Jump hook over Mario Porter.
Did a real good job of posting down low, and no help came down, and he had an easy shot.
And Peoples gets the friendly roll for Irvington.
Again, Peoples with that pull-up jumper.
40-35 our score, not 40-36. Keskowski, another open look. That's short. Peterson, great look to Frank Drea, who can't finish. But Drea gets it back, and it goes.
Terrific pursuit on the offensive board. That was a big basket. Irvington seemed like they were ready to start to make a little run. There's a deep three.
And Peoples somehow falling back. I don't know if he did that, but nonetheless.
I doubt it, James. I doubt it. But it counts for 3 anyway.
Bobby Farrell, sensing the momentum switch, is going to call for a timeout.
Wow, that's real good coaching. Bobby sees the crowd getting into the game. You know, they made that 3-point shot. Here it is. I tell you, I think he banked that one. Great shot, but it lifts Irvington and it lifts the crowd. And then Seton Hall comes down and almost turns the ball over, and Bobby said, whoa, let's take time out and talk it over. We got a ball game.
Timeouts can always be momentum busters. And of course, this gymnasium's been so friendly to the Blue Knights. Last Saturday in an ECT quarterfinal, they came back and knocked off Weequahic.
Well, they know how to win here, and you're always waiting for an Irvington run. You're absolutely just sitting here and saying, okay, when are they going to really make that run at you? And I'm sure that's what Bobby's concerned about, Bobby Farrell, in the huddle.
Of course, Irvington's tied with East Orange, as that last graphic illustrated, with East Orange for the most consecutive ECT wins at 18.
Larry Blasi.
Not only has Keith Barnett, there's a good look at Larry Blasi's second year at the helm of the Irvington program. He was Kurt Fenchel's assistant for a number of years. Coach Fenchel has moved on to greener pastures at Franklin High School. Great pass inside, and Tom Shannon finishes.
Well, Seton Hall got a little of their own medicine there. A little backdoor play by Irvington. Penetration in the backdoor.
What once was a 9-point lead is down to 2.
Well, it was a little bit of a hand check here.
And a steal by Hakeem Kelly. Doesn't quite have the numbers. Ricciardi has it. Ricciardi leads Keskowski a little too much.
Well, they're trading turnovers here.
Jermel Mayo back in. Hakeem Kelly will sit down. Kevin Steele, number 34 for the Blue Knights, seeing his first bit of action, a 6'7", 180-pound junior.
Well, we got a set play called from the bench.
Irvington showing its patience. It's been a relatively well-played game.
Few fouls, few turnovers. Oh.
7 turnovers for the Blue Knights and 4 for the Seton Hall Prep Pirates.
Ryan Peterson had to go the whole way. He's played against pressure.
Miller lets it go off the back rim. Seton Hall shooting has turned a little cold.
Here's the big guy.
Barnett's jumper just short. Tom Shannon going over the top of Steve Ricciardi, draws the foul.
Well, Ricciardi did a nice job of blocking Shannon out, and Shannon gets called for over the back.
Tom Shannon, that's his first personal foul. The Irvington fans clamoring for defense. Can they get a stop?
There's that jumper again.
Big rebound, Mike Keskowski, but cleared away by Steele.
You wonder if fatigue is becoming a factor, because those shots they were nailing. A little bit out of control.
Great no-look pass.
Look.
Mike Keskowski, the finisher. Oh my, Ryan
But
Peterson
it's the
wowing
pass
us
that
again.
makes the play. Great pass. And that's a big, big hoop.
Irvington's ball. Coach Fiore, that was Peterson's 7th assist on that look to Keskowski.
Well, he just sees the floor, and I mean he's probably averaging 10. And
10.2 to be exact.
He's a terrific player.
Steele, no good. Barnett, tough rebound inside. And that's the end of the third quarter. Seton Hall Prep, a lead that was 1-7 is getting ever so closer, but they maintain a 44-40 lead. We'll come back with fourth quarter action in a moment from Essex County College in Newark.
A lot of men believe that after their baby is born is the time to start loving it. Unfortunately, if they smoked around their pregnant partner or created an environment of drinking or drugs
This is no good for me.
or fought excessively with their pregnant partner,
Why do I have to change my life just because you're pregnant?
they increase the odds of their baby being born at a low birth weight, which can cause lifelong problems. So start loving your baby before it's born so it can be healthy enough to love you back. Remember, men have babies too.
And we welcome you back to Essex County College. The Irvington Blue Knight cheerleaders saying, we're number 1, we're gunning for number 5, but we'll see what the Seton Hall Prep Pirates have to say about that. Can they put an end to that 18-game ECT winning streak? They're up by 4.
They're in the lane. They're driving. They're penetrating in the lane.
Jermel Mayo trying trying to make an emphatic statement.
Well, now Irvington, big play there. What happened is they kept the ball away from Peterson. And Ricciardi turned it up. Big turnover.
Seton Hall on top, 44-42.
Irvington did an interesting thing. They kept the ball away from Peterson on that last possession. Ricciardi got it, and they came up with a steal but didn't capitalize.
Hakeem Kelly trying to hawk Ryan Peterson. Great look from Peterson, but Miller can't finish on good defense by the Blue Knights in the paint.
Great look, left-handed pass.
Last touch off Peterson's thigh.
Peoples is obviously affected by the time he's missed. He's getting into the lane. He's not jump stopping. And he's shooting a couple of flyers.
Keith Barnett back in. Tom Shannon will have a seat for the Blue Knights.
Just waiting for him to get hot. Guy Borges cleaning off the ball. A lot of wet bodies out there, and they're trying to keep the ball dry.
Steve Rubinaccio, the other official in this ECT semifinal.
Seton Hall has been man-to-man exclusively. Out of bounds. There it is.
Peoples no good. Good box out by Drea.
Peoples been short on every shot.
Peterson gets it back. Great no-look pass to Drea, but the shot is blocked by Steele. The passing clinic from Ryan Peterson continues.
Walk up.
Mayo trying one-upsmanship is called for the travel.
Every time Irvington gets a chance to tie it, they come away empty. Turn it away, turn it over. Ricciardi's at the point here.
Steve Ricciardi, normally a two-guard, trying to show his versatility. Drea gets an open look. Bang! Giving the Prep a 46-42 lead.
That's just, too open. That's too open.
Hakeem Kelly lets it go. Again, a good box out by the Prep. What a pass from Peterson, but it's blocked.
Seems we've been saying that a lot, haven't we, James?
It amazes me what he sees.
It's an amazing passer, the kid. It really is. Here's a break for the Hall.
2-on-1, great fake, and Peterson takes it himself.
The Ryan Peterson show here. He's definitely been the difference in this game.
Seton Hall back on top by 6. 5:35 to go in the game. Good hands by the Prep.
There's a good defensive play by Ryan there. Saw the penetration coming, got into the passing lane. Got a deflection.
Sorry, Coach Tom Shannon in for Kevin Steele. Kelly going baseline. Loses it off his foot. What?
Foul on the penetration.
Steve Rubinaccio calls Ryan Peterson for the foul.
Yeah, great play. Now everybody's looking for him to make the pass. A little ball fake off the pass, and he takes it to the hole. Excellent play by Ryan Peterson. He's just been the difference in this game. Every time they've needed a big play, it seems he's made it, whether it be on a pass or a shot or a defensive play. He has really been the catalyst. Other guys have done a lot of the scoring, but they've been the recipients of his passing.
This is Seton Hall's 19th appearance in Essex County Tournament semifinal play. Last year they played the Blue Knights and lost 59-57 in a nail-biter.
I was in one of those appearances, actually, with Seton Hall Prep. With Vin Tracy was my coach.
TV3 Sports is coming at you with more NJSIAA basketball state finals, this time Sunday, March 10th at 6:30, or you can catch a repeat telecast the 14th of March at 7:30, or again Saturday the 16th at 7 o'clock, only on Comcast Cablevision, TV3 Sports. ECT history. Bob Lester, the former East Orange and Montclair High School basketball coach, who's been in a few battles of his own.
Oh, Bobby owned this tournament for quite a few years. I think they won like 7 straight times, and then I was coaching at the Valley, and then we came and won it 2 years in a row right after Bobby's long scheme. But he was a great player in this tournament as well as a coach.
Can relate to those Milax moments that you coaches go through, and Jermel Mayo, no go, it's an offensive foul. Mike Keskowski stepping in.
Well, we alluded to this before, James. Here they are. Seton Hall is very aware of penetration. Here it is. Here's the step in. Terrific defense. Seton Hall, you know, that's not something that just accidentally happens. That's coached. Looking to take charges on dribble penetration.
48-42 our score. The Prep trying to make it to the finals for the first time since 1991 when they won it all, defeating the Clifford Scott Scotties 75-55.
Well, now the ball becomes precious. Last 4 minutes, you got to take good care of the ball.
And Peoples again using glass. 9 points for Kareem Peoples, 10 below his seasonal average.
Nice play. There's Ricciardi with a little of his own.
And Frank Drea says cha-ching to the tune of 18 points.
Thank you.
Miller in transition, and quickly the Pirates are up by 8. Great hustle play on the ensuing inbounds by Ricciardi, but Irvington remains in possession.
Well, there's 3:43 left. Does Irvington have a run left here? They're down 8. I would expect Seton Hall will get very, very careful with the basketball and start looking to maybe kill some time in the half court.
Kevin Steele back into the game for the Blue Knights. Hakeem Kelly gets an open look at a 3.
Just can't get it down. Irvington's been getting some good shots. They've taken advantage of Seton Hall's help off the penetration and made the kick-out passes, but they just can't get them down. And Seton Hall, on the other hand, has tried to take away and force those shots. So they must know something about Irvington's outside shooting.
Coach, you mentioned time and time again, just as Irvington knocks on the door, Seton Hall always distance themselves. As Miller frees himself again.
Terrific execution. Terrific execution.
Now a 10-point lead. Peoples the other way. Shots no good.
Irvington's getting a little out of the game now. They're shooting it quick, trying to get it all back in once, and it's becoming very tough for them. Now Seton Hall's going to run some clock, I'm sure. I don't think you'll see them shoot it too quickly. Wide open shot. You know, if conditioning was supposed to be a factor in this game, it sure hasn't affected Seton Hall because they've done a nice job with, here's a...
Ricciardi with Barnett to beat. Takes it in, gets the basket and the foul. No.
No basket.
No basket. Steve Rubinaccio.
Got here.
Let's look at a replay.
All right, here's the drive.
Looks to me, Coach, that he got there a little bit late.
I think I don't know what the call is.
They have not, as of yet, scored the basket for Ricciardi.
I don't know what the call is here. Did he call it an offensive or did he call it a block? I think what he might have said was that there was
the charge after the
basket
ball was
interference.
released.
I'm not sure what the... Let's see it again. Here comes the drive. Well, it's definitely a block.
He got there late.
Now I think we may have basket interference on Drea there. That's maybe what he called, because the basket certainly went in. He called the block. However, that's probably the call of the trail official, if that's what the call was, if it's basket interference.
The action is hot and heavy here on the hardwood. You can also catch it on the frozen pond. The State Hockey Championship, public school style, Sunday, March 17th at 6:30, again on the 19th, and Thursday the 21st at 7:30. Only on Comcast Cablevision, your home for high school sports.
Well, I guess there's no goal.
There's a good look at Steve Rubinaccio, who made perhaps a questionable call. It's easy for an outsider.
That's right. Steve's a good official. I have a feeling he might have called Drea for basket interference. Well, he's shooting 2.
Steve Tober providing all the facts and figures has just informed me that Seton Hall is now on a 7-0 run.
You know, Seton Hall, when you have to be good, is in the last 4 or 5 minutes of game, and they've been very, very efficient.
Ricciardi drains 2 as the 82% free throw shooter remains true and knocks him down. Shot way off from Peoples. Seton Hall getting that much closer to ending Irvington's dominance here at Essex County College. Less than 2 minutes to go.
They pass the ball. They have 5 guys who can pass and handle. It's going to be tough to catch now. It's going to be tough to catch Seton Hall. 12-point lead, 150. The way they handle the ball, the way they shoot free throws, it's going to be a tough task for Irvington right now. I think they got to get out and make it a foul shooting contest anyway.
Peoples tries to strip Peterson from behind, and he's guilty for the foul.
Seems to me the only chance they have is to get out there and get Seton Hall on the foul line and hope they miss, because they're just going to tick off that time every possession they have.
Ryan Peterson, a 58% free throw shooter from the charity stripe.
The press has never been a factor in this game for any, there have been no spurts really for Irvington.
Peterson, his 8th point on the contest. Coach, you mentioned the fact that the press has never worked itself into the flow of the game, but you can attribute part of that to the fact that Seton Hall's a terrific ball handling club.
Oh, there's no question about that. There's absolutely no question about that. And I think Irvington had every intention of making that be a factor, but
as you mentioned, just as they were knocking on the door late in the 3rd quarter, beginning of the 4th, when they needed a score, they had a turnover or an offensive foul.
They got it to 2 and they just couldn't close it.
Mayo lets it go.
And they've shot very poorly. They've shot very poorly in the last. But Seton Hall has been content to give them that outside jumper.
1:23 and counting, and Mayo fouls Ricciardi.
Well,
it appears a magnificent winning streak is about to end. The Blue Knight dominance here on this floor at Essex County College is now about to be a page in history. Or should I say a chapter?
Well, it could be a book, because 4 consecutive years and getting to the finals like this is no small feat. So you have to hand it to the Irvington program. But Seton Hall was good when they had to be today. Very, very efficient. Bobby Farrell does a heck of a job, as does Larry. But Irvington can't make a shot. Just on a cold run here.
60-44 our score.
Well, the final may wind up looking more lopsided than the game actually was.
On at least 2 occasions, Irvington had the lead whittled down to 2. It was once a 44-42 ball game.
Well, Seton Hall is moving on to the finals.
And a standing ovation, a well-deserving one for the Prep Pirates. 30 seconds to go.
You know what's amazing about this Seton Hall team, James? They're mostly underclassmen.
Ricciardi, a junior. Peterson, a junior. Miller, a sophomore. And Keskowski, the lone senior, on the floor for the Pirates. Drea will also be back.
Well, this is going to be an interesting final because, again, you've got studies and contrast. And it's going to be an interesting final with Seton Hall and Montclair.
With the win, the Prep Pirates will raise the record to 19-2 as it's official. Seton Hall Prep and the Montclair Mounties will be playing for the 1996 Essex County Tournament Championship. And for the Irvington Blue Knights, a dominant winning streak is over. At 18 games and 4 EC titles, a magnificent run. We'll talk to those spoilers from Seton Hall Prep in our post-game show from Essex County College in Newark. Stay with us. We'll be back.
Why are we hosting an AFS exchange student? Well, our family sees it as an adventure, a way to share who we are and what living in America is all about for us. Hosting an AFS exchange student has been an unforgettable experience for our family. It could be for yours, too.
My wish is to visit my grandparents on their farm and pet the cats and ride the horse and just be able to see them.
My wish is to meet the Golden State Warriors basketball team.
My wish is to get a computer to help me in school.
I wish I had a mountain bike because I really enjoy being outdoors.
I like dinner.
These kids aren't asking for very much. Please, help us give it to them.
Welcome back to Essex County College, everybody. The dominance is over. The reign of epic proportions is now complete. The Irvington Blue Knights are no longer etched in stone for the most consecutive wins in ECT history. That's because the Seton Hall Prep Pirates have knocked them off 60-44, and they're here in the semifinal round. And joining me right now here on the postgame show, junior guard Ryan Peterson. And Ryan, of course, you started last year as a sophomore, so I would think that this type of win is a little extra sweet.
Oh, yeah, because last year we played them real tough, and they were the three-time champ, and they won again last year, and we went to the buzzer at them last time, and they hit a shot to win it, and this year we're really looking forward to playing them again, and hopefully next week we'll take Montclair in the finals, and that's what we're looking for.
Well, I'll tell you, you left my tag team partner Ted Fiore and I a little oohing and eyeing with all the great passes that you made to some of your teammates that we'll talk to here in just a couple of moments, but was it something that you saw in the Irvington defense that enabled you to find so many open spots?
Well, not really. They're a real good defensive team, but all year, like my job as a point guard is to set everybody up, and what I try to do is penetrate and look for others, and I really don't care about my points that much, and it wasn't really Irvington. It was just more of that's what I normally do all the time, so that's pretty much it.
It certainly has rang true. Seton Hall now 19-2. Thank you very much for joining us on the postgame show. Now joining us, Mike Keskowski. I will add that Ryan Peterson had 9 points, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds. And Mike Keskowski, you were a contributor today in more ways than one with 13 points. And it seemed like you and Jeff Miller and Frank, especially early, battled tough on the boards and limited Irvington, a bigger and perhaps a more athletic team, to one shot.
Yeah, we did. They're a good offensive rebounding team. We just had to box out, keep them down to one shot. That's about it.
Now, of course, you were a backup point guard on the team last year. How confident were you guys approaching this one today? Did you feel as though, hey, it's time to end the streak and it's time to kick them out of their house?
Well, I was really nervous, to tell you the truth. A lot of us were nervous, especially Frank. We wanted to stop the streak. It's a good thing to stop an 18-game winning streak, so that's what we wanted to do.
Well, it seemed like you guys have done a great job coming together. Do you feel like now you're kind of hitting your peak this season?
Yeah, we're playing the best basketball we can actually play now. We're at the top.
Well, congratulations. Montclair will be a force to be reckoned with, but perhaps you guys will be up to the challenge. Now joining me on the postgame show, Frank Drea, the big fella, getting his big paw towards the tin more than a few times, a career-high 18 points. And Frank, Ted and I were commenting on how well you were running the floor. It seemed like you guys, when the chips got down and they were really starting to make a run at you, you guys distanced yourself from a good Irvington ball club.
Yeah, we practice all week long, so we go hard, and we figured, they're 18 game winning streak, and I had to end. They're real strong. They're a real tough team and everything, but we hustle and we do all the dirty work.
Now, of course, playing against Iron Hills Conference competition is one thing, but today you had a career-high 18 points and several offensive rebounds against a good team. I imagine that's done wonders for your confidence now.
Yeah, well, I work hard. Like I didn't play on the team last year, but I work hard in practice, and I got my 2 point guards, my 2 guards, Brian Peterson and Steve Acciardi, and they work hard to give me nice passes. So when the opportunity presents itself, I try to help them out as much as I can on the boards too.
You certainly did that. Thanks a lot for joining us, Frank. Congratulations. We look forward to your appearance in the ECT Finals. And now finally joining me, the deacon of Essex County coaches, Bob Farrell, in his 19th year. And, Coach, you were concerned about Irvington's size and athletic ability, but I really thought that your half-court offense, in terms of its execution, neutralized Irvington's speed.
Well, you'll have to excuse my voice, but I'd like to say before I answer the question, Irvington has been a great champion, and to win 18 in a row and 4 championships, and with the class that they did it, I just want to tip my hat to that program. And 18 games in a row, we may never see that again. But in terms of our game today, our kids executed in the half court, which we have to. That's how we play the game, and that's how we play it best. We were able to get some easy back doors off the flex cut and some elbow jumpers, and we were able to score in transition a little.
Coach, what did you tell your team in the third quarter? Just when Irvington was starting to get back into the game, they cut the lead down to 4 and 2 in that third quarter, but a very well-timed timeout. What did you say to your team at that point to get them back on track?
Well, I reminded them of what I had told them at halftime. You don't win 4 championships in a row and go down 7 and not expect them to make a run at you. So when we had the timeout, I mentioned that to them. I said, they're not going to die. We're going to have to win the game. We're going to have to make plays to win the game. And we were able to make some key plays down the stretch and pretty much ice it with our foul shooting. But we knew they'd be there. We knew they'd make a run in the second half, and we're just glad it didn't come down to a last-second shot because of their history of last-second shots.
Of course, Kareem Peoples in the quarterfinals went coast to coast with a layup to get Irvington back into the semis. Coach, one thing I thought you guys did a great job today of was limiting Irvington to 1 shot on the defensive backboards.
This first half especially, we didn't give them many second shots. In the second half, early in the third quarter, they got a couple of putbacks. I thought Frank Dreja, Jeff Miller played an outstanding game on the boards. Mike Kiskowski came in and did a good job for us also on the boards. But Frank was just a tremendous rebounder today and hit some very key buckets for us also.
Coach, I know you haven't had much time to savor this one, but you scouted, of course, a Montclair team which will play Seton Hall Prep in the '96 ECT Finals. What are your impressions of Montclair, and how do you feel you match up with them?
Well, we're going to have our hands full. They're a tremendous team. They're very athletic. Their guard play is excellent. Their inside game is excellent. And that record was gotten through playing one of the toughest leagues in the state. So there's nothing fluky about that record. They're an excellent team, well coached, and we're going to have our hands full staying with them next week.
Well, I guess TV3 will be here right as you take to the floor for the finals. Thanks very much for joining us. And now joining me, my tag team partner, the former St. Peter's College basketball coach, Ted Fiore. And Ted, you and I were both marveling at just how well the Prep was moving the basketball and getting so many open shots off picks and their flex, and it was a clinic out there, wasn't it?
Well, I really am not marveling at it because I've watched Bobby do this for years. He's done a terrific job with his teams. And over the years where his teams may have been a little less talented than they are right now, they've done the same thing. But I think he's got a talented team, he's got a young team, and the way they're playing, I think it's going to be an excellent final next week.
Of course, Seton Hall did a fantastic defensive job today, limiting Irvington's high-scoring guard, senior guard Kareem Peoples, to 9 points, 10 below his seasonal average. He never got into the flow of the game.
No, he really didn't, and I'm wondering at this point how much the injury affected him. you know, his ankle may have felt okay, but he didn't practice for a week or so, and he didn't play for a week or so, and it's tough to do that. And you could see that many of his shots were just short, but you could also see that he's a terrific player, and it's unfortunate for Irvington that he probably wasn't at 100%.
One final thing, Coach. When Seton Hall had taken a 44-42 lead, Irvington got back into the game, and you and I kept talking about the fact that Irvington just couldn't get a key basket. They shot themselves in the foot down the stretch, didn't they?
There's no question about it. They were making a run. They had the thing down to 2, and each time they came down, it was either a turnover, ill-advised shot, where they just couldn't, you know, take the lead. And sometimes if you just get that momentum back, taking the lead, it affects everything. But to Seton Hall's credit, you know, they responded each time, and they came up very big at the end and made all the big plays.
Big indeed. The Irvington streak is over. They now face the Montclair Mounties in the finals of the 1996 Essex County Tournament. That'll about wrap it up. For Ted Fiore and the rest of our Comcast Cablevision crew, I'm James Wilkes saying good night. The streak is now over. A chapter has been closed in ECT history. Thanks for joining us, everybody.